There are so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today. Years of commitment to harnessing the power of creativity, ingenuity, community, and academic excellence.
I believe that if you get your degree, the world is going to feel like it's shrinking.
Good evening, soccer fans, and welcome inside Docking Stadium for the home opener for the Bulldog men's soccer team, Adrian College, taking on their crosstown rivals, the Saints of Sienna Heights University. Happy to have you with us. I'm Calvin Keys alongside my roommate, Dakota Schneider, and Cam Overmeyer also helping out on the broadcast, directing the action. Happy to have you with us. Excited for a great rivalry matchup to open up the home schedule for the Bulldogs tonight. Dakota.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Calvin. It's great to be here. It's lovely weather out here, and we're expecting to have a great matchup between, like you said, two colleges from the same town. Great rivalry, great experience all around.
Well, we'll get a look here at the starting lineups. First for Sienna Heights. Dakota, break it down for us.
Well, first, we're going to have number 1, Ricardo Moreno. And then at number 6, we're going to have Gazka Zandio. And number 7, Marcelo Rocha. Number 11 for Sienna Heights is Juan Diego Revilla. 16 is Pedro Souza. Or no. Seems like our information might be a little mixed up. We're going to keep going, though. We're going to start from the bottom here. Number 52, Guilmire Damisio. Yeah.
Kickoff, and we're underway here from Docking Stadium as the Saints will get things rolling. It's headed away by Musser. Finds its way to Chiz, wearing the armband this afternoon for the Bulldogs. Adrian's missing their captain from last season, the junior Dante Perry, who went down to an ACL injury in the offseason. He'll be out for the fall, so a big missing piece for the Bulldogs, looking to fill that void for them. And the attacking realm is Chiz. Brought down by Emmert, quickly cleared away by the Saints. This will be headed onwards, and maybe in on goal here are the Saints. Here's a look at it, and struck well wide that time by Rocha. Marcelo Rocha with the first opportunity of the game, and he'd probably like to have that one back.
Yeah, already, Calvin, it looks like we're having some great coordination from both teams, some great juggling, head passes, all of that stuff. Already looking like the coordination is going to be a bit more down-packed than we're used to.
Yeah, and Bulldogs dodge a bullet here early on. That was a big defensive breakdown. Rocha with plenty of room to run into right up the middle there. Vaca will take this goal kick, the first of the match for Adrian College. Sends it out right to the center of the pitch. This will be handled by Hofius. Looks to the near side. Brought down with the touch by Moraes. Headed towards the sideline now. That's Hayes. He'll work it backwards for Musser, who skies one ahead. Onto the back line. This is touched wide safely and out of play. Good control there and a smart decision made by Ribeiro, the center back for the Saints.
Seeing a lot of airtime with this ball tonight, Calvin. Wondering if any of these teams are going to just try to stick it to the ground and keep it low at all.
Yep, both teams settling into this game at the moment. Chiz holding it up in the corner. Has it stolen away. This is centered and turned over. Back for Chiz, who had a look at it. Swing and a miss for him. Saints looking to get this out of danger. Nearly taken away by Tapia. Still, high press here and a great tackle by Bignell to win possession back. But his ball too far ahead of Emmert. A high press from the Bulldogs wins possession back, but can't connect on the pass there. It'll be out for a Sienna goal kick.
Two great opportunities there, Calvin, for a goal for the Bulldogs. Just couldn't take advantage of the opportunity. A lot of adrenaline going. Just got to keep your head straight in these kind of moments.
Ricardo Moreno starting between the sticks for the Saints. They'll work it out to the far side. Plenty of space here for Lorenzo Lim. Gives it, gets it back for Lim. Flicked forwards. Bignell will intervene. Gritza trying to control but turned it over. A nice back heel move there by Rocha. Taken to ground there is Moraes. He's fouled by, I believe, Bignell. And a set piece coming up here for Sienna.
Already, Calvin and I, we're seeing Sienna Heights likes to kind of group around any Adrian players that have possession of the ball that are just kind of solo. They're just grouping around them, trying to force them into making a mistake in just a split-second decision.
Mateus Santos standing over the ball here for the free kick. Bodies gathering on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ball put in, headed towards goal, and well wide again.
Wow.
With the opportunity there was Zandeo.
Great idea there.
Bulldogs will play this one short. Quickly, they move it wide for Leeline. On for Chiz. Touches it forwards and headed out of play safely again by Ribeiro. Charnick take this throw in for the Bulldogs. Finds Chiz, looking to move it forwards. A misplay here by Ribeiro. Chiz into the penalty area with it, looking to put a cross in. That's blocked away by Ribeiro again and out for a Bulldog corner.
See, that's just another example of what I said earlier, Calvin. They're just grouping up on any solo dog out there, and they're just waiting for that split-second mistake.
Yeah, Chiz didn't have a lot of help there down on the end line. Needed some support from his teammates, but he does well to draw the corner. This will be Gritza to take. Sent into the far post. That's over the head of Chirco. Nice step over by Alfonso Chirco. He hits the deck, wanted the foul call. He won't get one as it rolls out for a Saints goal kick. Moreno will take this one. Didn't look like there was too much in it there. Good no call by the official as it's played short. And tackled away here by Emmert, who ambushed the Saints defender. Good tackle to win it back, though. Bignell persistent in help. Ball will fall here for Moraes. Quickly won back. Here's Tapia. Ball ramps up in the air off a Sienna foot, and taking one hard in the back there was Emmert. He's bowled over by Salmim. And a free kick here in menacing territory for Adrian College.
Emmert was right where he needed to be. That was a great position. Just didn't go as he planned, obviously. But if that had gone to his plan, I'm sure that possession would have been turned over to the Bulldogs.
You love the effort by Bignell there, establishing body position, taking the contact in the back. And what do you think they'll dial up here, Dakota?
I'm not sure. Maybe they'll. I like way out far. There might be a way out far pass or not. Nice little field goal.
Gritza with the 3 points here. If it were an American football game,
that'd be an extra point.
Looked like he was trying to put that one on frame, but just got underneath it a little bit too much.
Looked like he went a little bit out wide. I was expecting him to take a wide pass out to the right side of the field, just with that angle he was originally taking.
Ball sent to the 40-yard line and flicked on for the Saints to run onto. Here's Lira on the far touchline. Crosses it back into the box. Looking for Lim, centered, and headed away well that time by Musser. Crucial clearance with the ball in dangerous territory. Moraes creates space for himself, heading into the penalty area, and that's swept away cleanly by Gritza. Switching the field is Salmim. Ribeiro. Cut into the middle, right into the waiting Gritza. Worked back for Cherko. Leeline. Played quickly, dangerous pass to Gritza. Saints win the ball away. Bulldog bench wanting a foul call. They won't get one.
Lots of commotion, Calvin, but it was obvious even from up here that was no attack at the player, was purely going for the ball.
Looked like a clean foul. Got a bit of residual of the player there. but won the ball cleanly as the effort from distance coming in from Lira is sent over the crossbar. Watched all the way by Vaca, who knew it was going over. Bulldog goal kick in the cards.
You can really tell, Calvin, that the Bulldogs are really prioritizing the defense of the goal during this game. Lots of great defense. I'd like to mention Brady Musser. During that cross just a few minutes ago, right in front of the Adrian goal, he had a great header to get it out of the way from the receiving.
Looked like a dangerous opportunity, and as you said, Musser with a well-timed clearance. That's what it's all about. Every soccer match comes down to a couple of key plays and who's able to make the decisive play to either keep the ball away from your goal or put it in the goal if you're Sienna in that situation. Musser didn't give him the opportunity. Turning into the middle, Rocha. Still Rocha. Clever player with the ball at his feet. Looks to work it through. Getting back for it here is Hayes. And it'll be another goal kick. Sienna mounting their pressure here gradually. They've had the last couple of chances on the ball.
Yeah, just right here, number 20, Tiago Moraes. He had a great opportunity to get that pass and just get it right in the goal, but just pass went right past him just a little bit too quick. If he had gotten a foot on that, that could have possibly put a number on the board for the Sienna Heights.
Vaca. He's got Chiz in the vicinity.
Great pressure by Chiz.
Rocha loves that little back heel flick. Tripped up here is Santos. They were going to play advantage, but they bring it back for the foul call. Lim. Long cross to the far side. Headed into the middle. Rocha turning, firing. What a finish for the Saints. Marcelo Rocha on the volley, turning around his body. There's that slotted it home past Jackson Vaca to make it a 1-0 game in favor of the visitors.
There's that coordination I talked about, Calvin. Just a great cross right into the middle of it. Another pass to another attacker and just right into the goal. Nothing much you can really do about that.
You look at the initial ball from Lim, headed into the middle, and good body position by Musser, but it didn't matter for Rocha. Fell so sweetly onto his foot. Perfect connection. From close distance, not much Vaca can do there as a goalkeeper.
Gravity just took him and the ball with him and just right into the goal.
Incredible work. Rocha with the finish. Makes it 1-0. Can Adrian find a response here? That's just 10 minutes into the match, and we've got our first tally. Bignell. Quick throw in down the line. Emmert able to keep it in here. Emmert pestering the defender, and they're going to say that he got the last touch out, but love the effort if you're the Bulldogs head coach Charlie Miles there. Persistence from Emmert to make the defender's life difficult.
The footwork was there, Calvin, very clearly. Just a lot of just pressure by Sienna Heights there.
Low driven ball intercepted by the captain Chiz. Finds its way into the feet of Vernier. He'll look ahead. This is Santos. Intercepted by Leline. Chiz looking to turn upfield, but falls back for Santos, and the Saints will start up their attack again. Looks for his left back here. Gets it in return. Dropped off for Zandio. Santos once more. Lob pass across the back line to Salmon. He'll move it quickly here. Lim. Moraes. Sent over the top. Looked like studs might have been up for Gritza there. Awkward collision with Zandio. This one will head out again for another goal kick.
Calvin, one thing you can really notice about Sienna Heights is just the patience. They're not afraid to drop it back. They're not afraid to just take it to the side. They know where their options are, and they always pay attention of that. And that's a good thing to have as a team.
Ball moved ahead for Hayes. Looks to the far side, Leline. He'll take his space here. Good ball to pick out Tapia, but a sloppy first touch. Might have been looking to play it over the back. Luke Gritza. Musser. Sienna locking down options. He'll look ahead. Beautiful ball in for Emmert. How did he pick him out there? On for Chiz. looking to cut it back, plays it across the face of goal. No one there, still loose in the penalty area. Saints get it away momentarily. Hayes will whip one back in. Goalkeeper Moreno out to snatch it out of midair. Bulldogs' first premium attacking opportunity snuffed out by the Saints goalkeeper, who gets up for it, and he'll settle the play down with 33 left to go in this first half. If you're just joining us, Bulldogs trailing due to a goal we saw about 2 minutes ago from the Saints. It was Marcelo Rocha getting on the board with a beautiful side volley out of midair. Beautiful technique to put the visiting side ahead. Two schools that are both located here in Adrian, Michigan. Last year, Sienna Heights came out on top at their home stadium by a score of 1-0. Bulldogs looking for revenge here today, but already they are falling behind 1-0 in this matchup. Hophius. Stripped away by Santos. Rocha falls down awkwardly, and they're going to book Cherko. Didn't look to be too much in it. Rocha slow to get up. Now he's back up on his boots.
I think from the ref's angle, Calvin, that just there looked to be a bit more elbow and maybe side thrown into that block there. I think that's where the confusion's coming from.
Tough as a referee to make that judgment call. Is Rocha making a bit much of the contact, or was it really significant enough to force him to the ground? And he'll say that Cherko put a bit into it. A little bit of a sloppy challenge from Leeline there. Saints keep possession. They'll look into the middle. Bignell up for it along with Lim. Musser looking to clear, but sent it right to Rocha, who has the only goal of this match. Nutmegs Hayes, but it falls right to Musser, who will speed along. Heads all the way back for Ribeiro, who will look for his keeper Moreno. Emmert has it tackled away by Zandio. Bulldogs haven't had a lot of possession, but they've made life difficult for the Saints in their own end. This is thrown on ahead for Emmert. Headed aside by Ribeiro. Emmert will look to hold this one up in the corner. And Ribeiro sends it out for a Bulldog throw. Sent back into the middle of the park. Vernier. Plenty of green grass to run into. Santos cut back for Vernier. He'll find Rocha. Looking wide now for his teammate Lim. On for Moraes. Couldn't keep it. Reset for, that is Salmon. Here's Salmim. Lofted all the way out to the back line. Rocha headed on. This will be no trouble for Vaca. Finds Leland on the far side. A quick back and forth pace in the opening 10 minutes, but now we see the game settling down a bit, Dakota.
I'd say, Calvin, one of the big differences you can see between these two teams, like I said earlier, Sienna Heights seems to have a lot of coordination. They're not afraid to take their time. Adrian Bulldogs seem to have a lot of aggression.
On the top of the box, he'll drive one. Great save made by Moreno. Getting down to the ground. Gets two hands on it as he dives to his right. Good strike by Emmert. First shot on target for the Bulldogs, as you were saying, Dakota.
Well, just right there, you could see the aggression for the Bulldogs is just pure. They're always rushing that ball, always trying to get their feet on it. But that can also be a bad thing for them because they're always trying to rush, and they're just so in the moment that they don't sometimes take their touches and just settle it down.
Looks like the game plan for Coach Miles in his first year at the head of this Bulldog soccer program is a direct approach. He knows that this Saints team has a talented roster, and they're going to possess most of the ball, but I think they're looking for a quick counterattack. That's what we've seen so far. This one whipped in. Another great header by Musser to get it away. Ball takes a bounce. Rocha coming down with it. Bignell stabbed, missed it. That's blocked again by Musser. Great defensive work for him so far in this game, unable to keep it in.
Galvin, if I was Brady Musser, I'd be having about, I'd say, 5 Advil every half. With how many headers he's been taking this game.
And we see there again, Bignell turned it over with the interception. found Emmert quickly with a lot of space and struck it sweetly. Moreno had to be good there.
Just a pure strike, Calvin. That's all you can say about it.
Gritzwa takes one in the back. We've seen a couple of those calls go against Adrian. Now we see one against the Saints. And like you said, Musser hasn't been afraid to use his head so far in this game. The trick is if you use the right part of your forehead, you don't need any Advil because it doesn't cause too much pain. I always had an issue finding the right part of my head, though. Sometimes you'd be using the top, and that doesn't feel too good. So technique is key. Technique is key.
Absolutely, Calvin. You don't want to hit the soft spot on your head.
Need that for classes tomorrow morning. Jericho headed away.
Lots of airtime again. Looking to settle it down.
It's always difficult on this turf surface. I feel like I talk about it every soccer broadcast. But it really is bouncy out there with that non-traditional turf surface instead of grass that we have here at Docking Stadium. Rocha flicked on ahead. He's almost taken on the role of a center forward at points, really holding up play for his wingers to get involved. Unforced turnover by Cherko, sent in, and no one running onto it, as Vaca will just take his time with this one.
It's always great for a keeper to analyze his options, make sure he's not making the wrong decision, because these kind of plays can just be critical.
Musser unable to connect with Tapia there. Moreas looking back for Lorenzo Lim. Vernier hustling for it. Good tackle. Nothing wrong with that one. Went to ground, won the ball. Gritza takes a Saint down. They were playing advantage, but they'll bring it back now.
From up here, it didn't look too dirty. It looked like a clean tackle from up here. Could be wrong, though. You know, you can never really experience what the players are experiencing, Calvin.
Yeah, it's quite a distance away. It looked like he caught him a little bit from my vantage point. Bignell's coming off now for the Bulldogs as the clock's going to be stopped here with 26:09 left. Not sure what transpired. Not sure what's going on. I know he has a bandage on his right knee. Could be bleeding, potentially. He just has to get that covered up. So he'll get attended to. And we'll get an opportunity to analyze what's gone on in this first 20-ish minutes of play. What have we seen?
Well, like I've said earlier, Calvin, the big difference is the coordination and the aggression. Adrian seems to be a lot more aggressive, and Sienna Heights seems to be a lot more coordinated. And it's just a great mixture to combat together, but you never know how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, we're seeing two different styles of soccer so far as Bignell's waiting to be let back onto the field.
Really shows the two halves of the town of Adrian.
Vaca wanted to let go of it quickly to Bignell, but instead he'll signal to his left wing back that he's going to settle things down, slow the pace down a bit. It's a pretty nice temperature for a match. Not too hot, not too cold. Great night here in Adrian, Michigan. Two next door neighbors going to battle on the soccer pitch. Santos here. Looking to the back line. They'll move it across. Salmim. Ribeiro. Into the feet of Vernier. Santos. Again, Zandillo. Long ball over the top. And Moreas could be in here. Will the flag stay down? It will. He'll cut it back. Whipped into the far post. What a save by Vaca to keep it out. Ball's still loose and it'll dribble into the goal. Saints go up 2-0. An incredible first save by Jackson Vaca, but on the follow-up, looks like it was Thiago Moreas who put it in. Another look at this one. See if we could get another look at the replay. Having some technical difficulties right now. What'd you see on that one, Dakota?
Well, first off, the cross to the right side of the pitch. Oh, here we go. Just barely onside, Calvin. And then just another pass to the left. Great header saved by the goalie.
Cherko's got to get that ball clear.
He
wasn't able to get it away.
The commotion I could tell was just throwing our keeper for a loop. Couldn't really tell where everything was, and there was a mass of just both Bulldogs and Sienna Heights players, just big a mass.
Looked like the Bulldogs were outnumbered there deep in their own end. Vaca did his job on the first save. It's up to his defenders to clear it away after that. They weren't able to. And again, just some really good passing play, moving it back across.
Absolutely. One of the things the Bulldogs are trying to focus on this year for their defense is protecting that goal. Obviously, in these last 2 minutes, we might not have seen that, but that's really what they're trying to focus on, maybe a weak point that they're trying to build up, because they know that that's one of their key weaknesses that they have to improve upon.
Yeah, Bulldogs came into this game with a 0-2-1 record, scoreless draw in their first game, and then lost their next two. Their last match against Spring Arbor this past weekend, they were up 1-0 late in the match and then gave up 2 late goals for a heartbreaking loss. For the Saints, they come into this one 2-2, so it's sitting at 500, but you knew this was going to be a tough test for Adrian going into this one. Jericho. Musser, defended by Santos, who shifted up the field to the right wing position after starting in the midfield. Not on the same page there. Bignell trying to get it back. Rocha tackled away by Hayes, and Bulldogs get possession here.
Looks like Bulldogs are learning a bit from Sienna Heights, taking advantage of seeing them like solo out one of their players and just kind of group upon them, take the ball from them.
Yep, it's a good strategy. Whenever someone's stuck on one half of the field, trap them in, collapse on them so they don't have space to move. That's what we're seeing. Emmer got one touch on it, then he had his legs swept out. Play continues. Moraes, who had the second goal of this match to put the Saints up 2-0 a couple minutes ago. 22 minutes left in this first half. Visiting Sienna Heights Saints 2. The hosts, Adrian College Bulldogs, 0. Here's Vernier. Touching it into the middle, low driven strike. No trouble for Musser. Tapia doesn't have anyone with him. Now he'll find Hayes backwards. Musser back into Hayes. Gritza. Cross for Leeline.
Bit of change of pace for the Bulldogs here. Not having as much aggression as they did before. Taking those touches, taking their time, making sure that ball is going where they want it to.
Hophius, or rather that was Chiz, taken down. Bulldogs able to reclaim possession. The referee has let this be a physical match so far, it's safe to say. And you like to see that. You like to see them letting them play a little bit, playing physical. Cherko across the back line. Bulldogs need to advance up the field here. Hophius, good touch. Flicks it into the middle. Hayes will keep it. Sent all the way back to the goalkeeper, Vaca now. Wearing the number 36 shirt for the Bulldogs in the pink. Both goalkeepers wearing pink today. I don't think that's technically allowed. Sometimes you see late game situations where teams pull their goalkeeper all the way up the field for a last second chance. And
well, seeing how this game's going, Calvin, I don't think we'll have to worry about that. Both keepers have had quite a bit to do in their goals.
Multiple changes being made. Chiz and Gritza head off for the Bulldogs, replaced by Kelliam Green and Alex Green. Don't believe there's any relation there. Both freshmen. Looking to bolster the Bulldogs' attack.
Powerful header there.
Falls to Green. Looked like it could have gone off an arm of a Saint there. Will play on. Into the feet of Ellis. Laid off for Green, looking wide. Hophius wasn't quite far enough to run onto that ball. 19 and a half left to go in this first half. Any players that have stood out for you so far from the Saints as they're up 2-0?
I can't think of the play. It's the gentleman with the first goal.
Marcelo Rocha.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, obviously the coordination from his team, but just being able to put it away like that is one of the key features of being where he is now. I mean, he wouldn't be playing soccer at this level if it weren't for tactics like that.
Yeah, that was a pretty impressive goal. Just letting it fall across his body and then struck it really well to put his team ahead. Second goal was more of a dirty goal, just cleaning up shop in front of the net.
I agree, and just with that first goal, just letting gravity take his body down with it and just following the ball in one fluid motion. It's really what you want to see out here.
Sun setting here at Docking Stadium. Two Lenawee County adversaries going to battle on the pitch. So far, Sienna Heights has been the better side. This one flicked over the top. Can the Saints settle it? It's Crombie. Lewis Crombie. Last touch on the ball was from Adrian.
The Saints love having their close call sends to the far corners, Calvin. We just had another one just about half a minute ago. Getting really close to that offsides line. Cutting it close, but always seeming to just make it just at the right position.
Living on the edge. Emmert shields it away. And foul called against Salmim. So a set piece here at about the 48-yard line on the football field. And Kellyum Green looks back for Cherko. Bulldogs have been able to put some passes together, not really in the attacking third of the pitch, though, as Alex Green will apply pressure, forcing the Saints to move it wide. Good first-time pass from Sienna's left back. For the goalkeeper, Moreno. Sends it on the ground for Zandio. Touch backward by Leem. Great turn to shake loose. Salmim. Sent ahead. Musser got a piece. Leland, the last man back. A great first touch to settle it. 1-2 feed with Hayes. Hofius. Over the top. Picks out Tapia. Sent on the ground. Blocked away. That time by Emmert, and it's out for a Saints throw with 16 and a half left to go. We've got 2 goals for the Saints. Marcelo Rocha, accompanied by Moraes, who had the second one, gives them a 2-goal advantage here over halfway through the first half of play.
I'm loving to see the Bulldogs down on the Saints end of the pitch. We're able to see even more of that aggression. Like, the Saints haven't really been able to have much room to breathe. There's always at least one Bulldog on them at all times. It's great to see.
Green hustling to make life difficult for Moreno, who's forced to clear it away.
That's exactly what the Dogs are looking for, Calvin.
It's a forced error. Because of that hustle play, Bulldogs get the possession back with the throw-in. All because of the hustle of Alex Green on the press there. Worked wide for Hofius, looking for options. Looks down the line for Alex Green again. Sent into the middle, that's blocked aside. Bulldog corner upcoming.
Some great pressure being put on the Dogs by the Saints right there in the corner. Always just having that one man at least a foot or two in front of them.
Ball into the box, right to the head of a Saints player, as it's sent away by Ribeiro that time. Bulldogs get it back. Lee line, heavy touch, hustles to get there, and pass away from Kellyum Green. Flicked on ahead. Lee line. Back up for Kellyum Green. Alex Green's there. Dropped off by Jorge Ellis. Up the line. Great control there.
Saints really showing off their footwork tonight, Calvin.
A lot of international players on this roster, as that's a crunching tackle from Alex Green. Looking into the middle for Tapia. Back for Green. Heavy touch on it. Can't corral. And a Saint goes down. That was Victor Salmim. who will fall to the turf, and the referee is going to give a warning to Alex Green here.
Little puzzling, Calvin. Just the trip that we had seen earlier, I would have figured if anything that would have gotten the call. But from that, just a little odd, but.
Yeah, it definitely looks similar to a lot of what we've seen so far today that didn't really draw the ire of the referee.
Yeah.
But I think a big element of that is that it is from behind, player not expecting it. Regardless, just all you have to do if you're in Alex Green's position is just hear out the referee and then go about your business. So.
Absolutely. That's why we have the tall man like you up here, so you get the better vantage point.
Musser over the top. Emmert's got space. I think he's onside as well. Flag stays down. Tackled aside. And finally cleared out by Salmim, who's done a good job of containing Emmert, who's like to attack that left side early on in this match. Going to see another change with Craig Fritz heading in, replacing Owen Emmert. So Fritz will head up top in that number 9 striker role. Our first look at Fritz, the junior from Detroit, Michigan. You're talking about the footwork of this Saints team. You see a little bit more of that when you've got a lot of Brazilians in your lineup where you're kind of expecting that footwork, that skill.
Absolutely.
A lot of soccer players from that nation have the reputation of being extremely skilled with the ball at their feet, and they've lived up to the hype so far in this game up to now.
Well, even in general, Calvin, the Saints team, the ratio of American to foreign players is just incredible. Absolutely blows the Adrian team out of the water in that aspect.
Yeah, this Adrian squad has one Jamaican international, one Canadian international. The rest are all American. I think we saw one American international in the starting lineup for Sienna Heights. Got players on their team from Brazil, Peru, Panama,
Scotland,
Spain,
I believe, too.
Scotland, all over the globe. Wide recruiting hub for head coach Drew Crawford and his program. Sorry. Hofius sends it back. Lee line.
Bit excitable with this ball. Not many touches being taken right now.
Bignell has Fritz down the line. He'll find him. Craig Fritz cuts it back. No one home. Ribeiro will clear it away.
It's the right idea, Calvin. The Bulldogs just need to focus on making sure they have someone down that middle part and right in front of the goal. Just make sure whenever those crosses are made, the opportunity is taking advantage of.
This one rocketed up into the stratosphere.
Talk about airtime.
Musser. Great tackle. The interception from Dylan Vasquez. Brady will win it back and draw the foul. Great effort by Musser, who's been the best Bulldog player in this game so far.
I don't think we've said anybody else's name more this evening. Yeah, I mean, you have to look at it from a tactical position. He's been playing his defense, but also he's been a key part of many sends up the field, crosses. He's just all over the place.
He seemed virtually omnipresent in the back line. All over the place, like you said.
Definitely not a one-trick pony.
Kelliam Green standing over the ball. Bulldogs at the edge of the 18. Lost this one in. It's a good ball. No one there. Last touch off the Saints. We'll have a corner upcoming. You heard that impromptu remarked up here in the booth. We're in tight proximity. Used to having a little bit more space, but consolidated tonight. So
absolutely. Well, when we
rubbing
have
shoulders a little bit here tonight.
When we have our big events coming up, we have to make do.
Homecoming this weekend for the football team. Bulldogs looking to send this ball home into the twine. We'll have another corner here. That could have made an argument for a foul on Cherko with Ribeiro knocking him over. As we see our crew tonight, I'm Calvin Keys alongside my roommate Dakota Schneider. Check him out on Twitch. Daco Plays 787. You won't be disappointed. Cam Overmeyer, our director, as well. Doing a great job for us tonight. This entire broadcast brought to you by Adrian College students here on ACTV. Glad you've joined us. Hope you're doing well on your Wednesday night wherever you are. This one sent in and punched away by Moreno. Dropped off as Crombie will fall to the ground. He's still down. Saints will continue on. Thought they might try to play it out with their teammate down as Ellis works it to the far side. Crombie back up now. Might have been one of those instances where he was petitioning for the foul, and when he saw he didn't get it, gets up, gets back into the play.
Well, you can also just so many things not being called that you might think or might even some that you might not expect to get calls. They're just getting calls.
Yeah, I will say it's been pretty consistent, though. We've seen the standard being set. So this is brought down by Zandillo. Dropped off by Crombie again. Bignell boots that one away. Just wanted to get it out of harm's way, I suppose. Saints drop it off. Again, this is Guilherme Ribeiro. Zandillo. Lee line, had it, lost it. Saints looking through for Crombie. Good touch by Cherko and snatched out of the air by Vaca. 8.5 left to go in this first half. Bulldogs looking to get one here before the halftime break. What do they need to do?
Well, Calvin, they were being a bit more concise and just more of one unit earlier during the middle of this half, but it seems like now they're a bit more head heavy and they're just trying to get the ball to go places, not really considering where they're putting it. Lots of boots, not too many touches.
That's been your critique throughout this first half. Theme continues for the Bulldogs. I think credit the Saints for rushing them and taking away their time and space as well. But they'll turn it over here. Kelliam Green. Good cutback, able to get back up on his feet. Aiden Leeline, the junior. Sent into the middle by Hofius, and that's headed away well by Salmim. Sent wide and can't quite be kept in by Pedro Arthur.
That cross had great placement, just great other placement by the Saints there, by the defenders.
Alex Green pestered. Foul called against the Saints. He'll play this one quickly. A little bit too quick for the referee. Had Bignell back there. Picked him out as well. Interesting that whistle was blown. He had a really good chance. Bignell was wide open back there. Got it right to him as well. Kelliam Green will take it now. 6:45 to play in the first half with Sienna Heights leading 2-0 over Adrian. Kelliam Green into the box, has Musser there. Moreno will punch it away. And now the Saints will look to counter. Not if Connor Hayes has anything to say about it. He sends it out into touch. 4 substitutions now will take place for the Saints, as we've got Lucas Carvalho, Ed Julson Godero, Maurice Bieri, and Josh Vernier all coming on for the Saints. Takes a touch off the head of Musolis.
Bulldogs really rushing to get this ball back in play. You can really tell they're trying to get at least one on the board before this half is over.
Fritz is pushed down from behind, as yes, the push does continue for the Bulldogs. They've had a number of these set pieces. They've had some promising balls in some good areas, but haven't been able to connect yet.
It's just being able to finish out on what you're starting. There's been so many great opportunities, so many crosses, so many sends. They just can't get it in the net.
Fritz, low ball across, all the way through Bignell. Headed it wide. That one had some mustard on it. Tough to control.
Absolutely.
If you're on that back post.
You could definitely see a lot of spin on that ball. You couldn't tell where that was going to go. Bulldogs getting a lot of great placement with these penalty shots and just crosses in general.
Now, this is an Adrian team that is 0-3 on the year so far. They're down 2-0, but this team, it looks like night and day from what we saw last season. This is a much improved squad, playing a lot more competitive this year. It's been great to see a lot of those changes implemented despite the scoreline. Our first look at the Bulldogs this year, they've looked fairly good at many points.
Lots of different priorities for this team this year, Calvin. They've got a whole lineup planned for all of their tactics, and they're really trying to be a bit more concise.
Here's the ball in for Tapia, in behind. Touches past the keeper. He's taken down. The play will continue, and finally the referee will signal for a penalty kick.
A little bit of a
pull
delay.
out a card out of his pocket here, too. Yellow card being issued to Ricardo Moreno. That was a beautiful ball from Alex Green into Juan Tapia. Can we get another look at it? We will not be able to. And Tapia took a sweet touch by the keeper, was taken down. Initially, the referee didn't pull his whistle out. Finally blows it, points to the penalty spot, and a huge opportunity for Juan Tapia here.
Emotions are flying, Calvin.
Waiting for the referee's whistle. Juan Tapia, the senior from Othello, Washington, steps up to the spot. Just awaiting the referee's approval, giving instructions here. 4:29 to go in this first half, and a chance try and come back in this game for Tapia. Steps up to the spot and he scores. 2-1. Cool, calm as you like. Tapia makes it 2-1. Another look at this one. Break down what you saw there, Dakota.
Well, as you can see, he's got to keep his head strong. He's got to keep his mind in focus. You can't overthink this, Calvin. He just takes a great strike at it, tries to put it right in the top right corner, and it's an amazing play. Nothing else to say about it.
Keeper guessed the wrong way, but even if he had moved to that right side, it wouldn't have mattered.
That ball placement just way too high.
Great finish. He'll be subbed off here. Makes it 2-1 and makes this one more interesting. We said it was huge for the Bulldogs if they were able to find a goal heading into the half, and they strike on the counterattack.
Their Adrian College Bulldogs goal was scored by number 12, Juan Tapia.
2-1. Still Adrian trails, but they've got some life as Tapia cashes in from the penalty spot.
Parents and students alike here at Docking Stadium all on their feet cheering. You love to see a crowd like this, Calvin.
Into Alex Green. Finds Fritz. He's taken down. Another sloppy challenge, of which we've seen plenty in this half. And I think it might have been Guillermo Ribeiro who got that yellow, or rather, no, it was the goalkeeper, Moreno, who's on a yellow card. So Ribeiro's okay, but we've seen a handful of sloppy tackles in their own third of the pitch. Dakota, it seems like they're happy if there's a dangerous opportunity to just foul so they don't have to deal with it.
Well, even in the last few minutes, Calvin, you can notice the refs even calling even more than they have been the rest of this half. You're really starting to take notice of it. Perhaps they're going to change that consistency of maybe taking the physicality of this game a little bit down. It has been pretty brutal.
Persistent infringement from the Saints so far, as Craig Fritz will look to take this free kick from 23 yards out. Fritz, the service. It's just over the bar. Good look on net. Just off target in the final 3 minutes of this first half.
Keeper for Sienna really taking his time. He knows he just wants to calm down, finish this half, recuperate with the rest of his team, and start anew on the second half.
I think that's a testament. Sienna trying to slow this thing down, sensing that momentum shift ever since that penalty kick goal from Juan Tapia. We've seen 3 goals for the Sienna Heights Saints. It's been Marcelo Rocha alongside of Tiago Moraes, and then the Bulldogs struck back just recently, Juan Tapia getting them on the board. Fritz draws the throw.
There's that singling out, Calvin.
And Fritz exchanging words with the Saint. They're on the touchline. Things getting heated. This is a rivalry matchup. These two teams have a bit of animosity towards each other. But it's been a really entertaining first half of soccer, I will say.
Absolutely, Calvin. The atmosphere with both the players, us in the booth, everyone in the stand, they're lighting up the stadium more than the lights are themselves.
Hayes. High kick right up by the face of Fritz, but Saints defender was going for the ball. So a good no call there. Bignell thrown into the middle of the park. This will be laid backwards by Enrique Monsalvo as we see a first look at him in this match.
Bulldogs seem to be slowing it a bit down too, working with that footwork again.
Lee line Over the top, searching out Alex Green, who will hustle for it. Moreno, the keeper for the Saints, got there in time as we enter the final minute.
Moreno really had that split-second call to make, whether he goes for it, stays back, lets his defense work with it. You really have to be able to make those decisions as a keeper.
Long kick all the way onto the Bulldogs' back line. Monsalvo contesting for it. Kellyum Green will get there. Beautiful touch. Still has it and finally tackled away. Good intervention there by Lucas Carvalho. Back again for Musoles. Near side now for Ellis. Saints possess in the final 30 seconds. Quickly sent along by Hayes, up for Fritz. Falls to Hofius, 20 seconds to go in the half. Cherko. Hofius can't get a touch. Green somehow kept it in, played it over his body. Can't get the ball through, but he's staying with it. Here's Alex Green again, slides down to the turf awkwardly, took a hard contact, and that'll take us to halftime. A scintillating 45-minute session of soccer finds the visitors from Sienna Heights up 2-1 over their crosstown rivals, Adrian, here at Docking Stadium. But for the Bulldogs, there's life as Juan Tapia gets them on the board from the penalty spot here late in this first half.
It's a great competition, Calvin. It looked a lot more lopsided for the Saints during the beginning, but once the Bulldogs really started settling down, they worked with their feet. They weren't thinking as much with their heads, and they just worked as a group. That's what the big thing they have to do. If they're going to come back and put even more points on this board and take the lead, that's what they're going to have to just be one full unit.
Any adjustments you could see the Bulldogs manager, Charlie Miles, making at halftime with the first 45 minutes that we've seen?
There's a lot of, they keep going back and forth with it. You really can't expect what they're going to be doing. It's really just on and off switch at this point. I guarantee you, though, Brady Musser will not be sitting on the bench for this second half.
It'll be all hands on deck for the Bulldogs as they try to come back from a 2-1 deficit heading into the second 45 minutes of play. We'll be back in about 14 minutes' time right here on ACTV. Stay with us.
There's so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are the ones that will continue us on this upward path for the rest of our lives. In the spirit of gratitude, thank you to my fellow classmates for being a part of this community with me. Whether we spent most of these moments together or barely crossed paths, you contributed your gifts and talents to continue the legacy of this incredible community. Thank you for prioritizing the preservation of the Adrian College experience and for continually seeking to develop the institution's ability to develop both the knowledge in our heads and the care in our hearts.
Thank you to the roommates, friends, teammates, and peers who, although we have only known each other for 4 years, it seems impossible to think about being surrounded by anyone else in the coming weeks. We celebrated each other's accomplishments, became each other's biggest cheerleaders, and never let each other struggle alone. College has been called the most formative years of our lives, but I can say for certain that these last 4 years have included both the most amazing and most difficult moments of my life. One constant, however, is the support of my friends through it all. It is impossible to thank everyone who makes up our AC family. Together, you have each played an integral role in helping us achieve this momentous milestone.
And you be proud to be a graduate of Adrian College. It's a good day to be a Bulldog. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Today's students on the threshold of a magical time in your life, a time of significant growth and introspection, self-awareness, challenge, and opportunity. A time when you will always look back at and say, you know what? Those were incredibly special years. Never experienced before I arrived and never replicated after you leave college.
We're back at Docking Stadium here for this men's soccer matchup between the Adrian College Bulldogs and the Sienna Heights University Saints. Calvin Keys alongside my roommate Dakota Schneider here on ACTV, and we're going to break down a little bit of what we saw in the first half, about 3.5 minutes out from the second half kickoff. What do you see here on the screen right now in terms of stats in that first half, Dakota?
Well, obviously we can see that the Saints are taking the lead, but also you can notice that Adrian College has been taking the majority of the possession during this game. So that's kind of odd to think about, and thinking about what maybe the Saints will improve upon coming in the second half.
Yeah, I was actually shocked to see that the Bulldogs had more possession. It seemed like Sienna had more of the ball. I think they were more direct when they had the ball, maybe, is perhaps what's explaining that away. But I think we actually saw a pretty even half. You see 5 shots apiece. Both teams had chances. Saints were able to capitalize. And now we'll take a look at the 3 goals that we saw in that first half. I believe this was the first challenge. We see the goal from Marcelo Rocha. Can we run that one back one more time? That was a phenomenal strike. Break it down for us.
Well, Rocha just takes the momentum of himself and the ball just to go one fluid motion with the clean strike, just send it right into the bottom right corner. it's you couldn't ask for a more swift strike. It's just one fluid contact.
The awareness to let that ball come across his body and kick it right out of the air quickly, catches Vaca by surprise while he's getting leveled by Cherko. Phenomenal finish. Let's take a look at the second goal of this first half for the Saints, coming from Tiago Moraes. This one wasn't quite as pretty, but the Saints were able to get the job done.
A lot more jumbling here in this one, Calvin, but what you can't see in the clip is a very close pass up to the front, very close to being offsides. Here we have the save from our keeper, and just a lot of just hustling around, not knowing exactly where everybody is and where the ball is. It's really, you don't want to call it a dirty goal, but not as clean and precise.
Well, this initial header was a thing of beauty. Vaca's save was also amazing, and then the onus there is on the Bulldog defenders to clear that ball away and help out their keeper. But that made it a 2-0 game about 20 minutes into that half. Things looking a little bit bleak for the Bulldogs, but they responded in a big way moving forward from going down 2 goals.
Absolutely. In the first half of the first half of the match, there's 2 goals scored by the Saints, and then the Bulldogs stopped them completely. There's no other advancements in score for the Saints the rest of the half. And then here, about 4.5 minutes left in the half, they get this penalty kick, and the rest is history, really. Just a clean strike, level head from number 12
That's
for the
Juan
Bulldogs.
Tapia.
Juan Tapia, just nothing much you can really do about that. Keeper for the Saints just really had to make a split-second decision which way to go, and Tapia took advantage of that.
And you get the feeling that gave the Bulldogs something to really hang their hat on going into that this second half of play. Really a nice morale booster as we look at a chance that Owen Emmert had, and that was a really nice save made there by the goalkeeper Moreno for the Saints.
Just some great aggression by the Dogs. You can see here just keeping at least one person on the ball, whether the Saints have it or not, always trying to push forward. But again, pushing forward maybe isn't always the answer that you need. We've seen a few times where the Bulldogs take a second and they settle down, they maybe drop it back to the side, and they really start thinking with their feet.
Yeah. Dante Perry giving a bit of a pep talk here to his team as they get ready to head back onto the pitch. We see another nice save made by Moreno, who had to be active in that first half with the amount of promising balls that the Bulldogs were whipping into the box.
Absolutely, Calvin. I'd say both keepers for tonight have had their fair share of experience, and they've just really been on top of things.
Yeah, absolutely. You see this chance right here. To see what this play came from. That was a beautiful turn from Kelliam Green.
And it's just when the Bulldogs take a second, they slow down, and they can just contemplate what they're going to do, they can get that fancy footwork in and move it around the Saints.
Yeah, it wasn't too fancy from Green there. It was just simple to open up space, making the practical decision, which there was to use his skills to his advantage.
And sometimes fancy just needs to be the simplest thing. That's all you need.
Just love to see no hesitation. Saw where the open area was and he needed to move the ball to. Got it there. I'm excited to see more of young Alex Green on the near side of the field. I think you can see like his head right on the bottom of the screen right there, just
absolutely.
barely. He really added a lot of spark for the Bulldog attack with the way he was pressing and just his overall speed.
Yeah.
Kelliam Green's going to have the second half kickoff here.
I think he's run this pitch at least 2 or 3 times by now with how much sprinting he's been doing.
45 minutes up on the clock for this second half, just awaiting the whistle as we get ready to see what the stunning conclusion of this match will be. Crosstown rivals Sienna Heights and Adrian. Bulldogs in their home opener here looking to come from behind. They've got some work to do, down 2-1. And this will be sent ahead by Monsalvo.
Starting the half just like they did on the first half. Lots of airtime from this ball. Not really settling it down and keeping it on the ground.
Hayes looking to track this one down. A good touch by Rocha that got up towards the Bulldog defender's head. Hayes will head it forward once more. We're just seeing, again, a complete aerial game here in the opening 30 seconds. Monsalvo over the top. Fritz looking to get going, but was never going to be able to catch up to that one, and settled here by Ricardo Moreno.
I do like so far, Calvin, how the Saints tried to push the ball more towards the Bulldogs' goal, but they didn't let that ball go past the 45-yard line. Really just cementing it, parking the bus.
Alex Green, a bit of a sloppy touch. Springs Gustavo Lira the other way, but Green able to track him down, make up for his mistake, sends it out of play. Here a minute into this second half. Throw will be taken by Pedro Arthur, and he's going to be instructed by the referee. He was advancing up that sideline trying to get as far up the field as he could. Referee says, hey, back up a little bit there, pal. Get a little overeager. Alex Green tracks this one down, sends it up the line, has no black shirts there. Salmim away by Leland, a thundering header.
Bulldogs are not afraid to use their heads.
I was going to say, you could hear his forehead vibrate from up here in the press box. That's how hard that contact was.
I felt it from up here.
Moraes had a goal in that first half. He'll test Vaca again. Slides in and gets there. Beautiful stop. Let's get another look at that save. So we get a stoppage here. Not sure for what. Hayes is going to come to the sideline. Another look at this one. Thiago Moraes from distance. He's going to try his luck from all the way out there from 30 yards. And Vaca, great agility to get there.
Well, Saints, you can, again, you can see them taking their time, thinking about where they're going to put that ball with their feet, even if it's a foot away, a yard away. They keep it with themselves, and they contemplate what their next step is, really. And then once they get that opening, they take that strike.
While we were showing that replay, Connor Hayes has come off the pitch, replaced by Juan Tapia. And I'm not sure what transpired. It looks like he was maybe getting some help with a contact or something in his eye. Trying to get his contacts replaced. Pretty important to be able to see out there, especially as a midfielder, what your passing options are. Vaca punts it away. Musser. Flicked on ahead well by Rocha. This is on. Into the path of Lira. Across the box. Santos is there. Opts not to take it. Instead dishes it off here.
I think a little bit more aggression from the Bulldogs there would have been a bit more helpful.
Sent in. Hardly kept in. It'll be out of play. And it's being informed by our director now that I think it was Hayes had a cut as well, just like we saw in that first half from another Bulldog. So that's why he's being attended to, and he's checked back in, ready to head back into the match. As this will be distributed by Vaca out to Musser. Dribbled along. Sent it to a wide open space in the middle. Saints get there first. Back on along, and a really smart read by Musser to use his head. If you pass it back to your keeper with your feet, he's not able to pick it up. But if you use your head, they are able to use their hands. So smart play by the defender. We've sang his praises throughout that first half and continues his strong play.
I was a little shocked myself when I learned about that rule. I've always been used to no contact at all with your hands if you're the keeper and it's passed back to you. So very interesting to hear.
Musser knew the rule clearly and made a smart decision, as here's Santos on the ball. All the way back now for Salmim. Swung to the near side by Moreno. He's pressured. Alex Green lost his footing. A couple of Bulldogs tripped up there in the process, but that's Kelliam Green will track down Pedro Arthur. It was a really awkward collision where Alex Green lost his footing and then his teammate Hofius tripped on him. Sent down the line to Rocha, who had the first goal of this match. It'll be kicked out of play by Kelliam Green. Down here for Mateus Santos. Tripped up. And Alfonso Cherco has shown a yellow card here for just really a kick across the leg of Santos on that play.
I think Santos was really just trying to find someone to give the ball to. He knew he was in a pickle, and he didn't have anyone to pass it along to.
Able to draw the foul, though, so make the most out of a tough situation. And a free kick here from the left side coming up for Sienna Heights. Dangerous chance upcoming. Mateus Santos, the service. Into the near post. I think that came off a Bulldog head, so we'll have a corner upcoming for the Saints. Kelliam Green, the clearance. That was whipped in dangerously, or rather, the assistant referee's flag is going up, so it will be offsides against the Saints, and Bulldogs will have the set piece on the ground.
Really great placement by that cross in. That was really, you could tell it was going right towards the middle of the goal, and that header just maybe a little bit off place.
Yeah, that was the ball sent with intention. Really picked out Rocha, who's, we can already tell, is the target man for this Saints side. 6 minutes into this second half, it's still 2-1 Sienna Heights. The visitors in this crosstown rivalry match. Calvin Keys, Dakota Schneider, Cam Overmeyer producing this stream. Santos to the near side. Lira cuts in, sends one across. What a ball, and it's going to be an own goal against Musser. Man. Intercepted that cross, but sent it into his own net accidentally. A defender's worst nightmare comes to fruition, and the Saints are up 3-1 in the match.
You can tell he's just beating himself up for that, Calvin. I mean, it's a split-second decision, just like this whole game is. You could think that trajectory is just going right towards the goal, and your header is just going to send it the other way. But a game's a game, really.
Unfortunate turn of events for Musser. And the Saints now back up to a 2-goal lead. Demoralizing event to start this second half for the Bulldogs, but plenty of time left to be played in this one. Has to be a next play mentality. I say it so often whenever I commentate games, but have to have the memory of a goldfish, as the great Ted Lasso would say. Short memory, on to the next play. That's got to be Musser's mentality, as well as the rest of this Bulldog unit wearing the black and gold tonight. Good tackle by Musser. He doesn't look to be batting an eye. This one will roll all the way back to Ricardo Moreno out of his enclosure in the penalty area. Blast this one away. Chested by Cherko. Leeline able to get Hofius. Turned it over now, and Rocha. And by the near corner flag. To the top of the D. Zandillo looking to open up space. Alex Green in defense. Dropped off for Arthur. Into the middle. That's stabbed away. Now recovered. And Lira will work it wide. Thought he might have been looking to try his luck there. Good block. And the Bulldogs will look to counter. It's laid off by Fritz onto Musser. Too far ahead of Tapia. Sent on forwards once more. Saints have it in the penalty area. They cut it back, looking for Zandillo. Heads it right towards Vaca. Another save for the Bulldog goalkeeper. Looked like maybe the Saints attacker would have liked to get some more power on that effort.
I think so, Cal. It was great placement. You can't deny that.
Alex Green. He's clattered over. That'll set up a free kick for the Bulldogs. Take another look at that save from Vaca. Saints, a persistent attack here. Lots of space on that right side. Cut it back. You saw Zandillo put his hand up in the air calling for it and couldn't get the mustard he wanted behind it. That was really a dribbler for Vaca. Not too much trouble.
There's been no shortage of crosses this game, Calvin. I mean, it's been a repeat over everything. It's one of the biggest things that we've seen tonight. It's just about how many times they can capitalize on it and finish it.
Craig Fritz. Up ahead. That's over the head of Musser. Couldn't quite get up for it. With 36 minutes left in the match. Connor Hayes will finally head back in. Replacing Tapia, who has the lone goal for the Bulldogs in this match from a penalty kick. Moreno will play it short. Kozic. Arthur turned it over to Fritz. Looking for help. Laid off for Enrique Monsalvo. Gets it back to Fritz. Does well here. Good touch by Fritz. Has a go. That's blocked. Musser. Hofius gets on his horse. Can't quite get there in time. Santos, bodied by Alex Green. Clean play. He wins it back. It's tackled away. He draws the foul. Alex Green making things happen for the Bulldogs right on the edge of the area. And Santos having a word with the official. Wanted the call there, but it looked like an instance where Alex Green got body position and stood his ground, really.
Looks like Damasio's leg, number 52, his foot really kind of slid down the leg of the Bulldog, kind of just making him fall over upon himself. Definitely I could definitely see how this call is made.
A little bit of sloppiness there, perhaps. A little bit late, not well timed,
but intentional, I don't think so.
It's going to be Monsalvo, the junior from Westerville, Ohio, with a really premium chance here, probably the second best opportunity that the Bulldogs have had in this game. Behind that penalty kick we saw earlier. Time is called. As we see here, if you take a look at that wall formation for the Saints, they've got a player laying down.
That's Lorenzo Lim, number 41. I do appreciate it, that strategy. They're thinking of all over the board. They have their players in front that can jump if they need to, but they also have that counter on the bottom.
Monsalvo puts it in. Great save made by Ricardo Moreno. Still it's loose and finally cleared by the Saints. Look at this strike from Monsalvo as we'll take a look at the replay when we get a chance. It's played quick by the Bulldogs here, but intercepted by Santos, and the Bulldog defenders will have to backtrack. Gustavo Lira sent through the middle. Plenty of space for Santos. Cutting in onto that right foot, and that one miles away from goal. Another look at the save from Ricardo Moreno on the other side of the pitch. What did you see here from the youngster, or rather the upperclassman Monsalvo?
Well, Monsalvo, as you can see in a second, he takes the strike, tries to get it towards the left side of the goal, but Moreno just, it's almost as if he could just sense exactly where it was going. He had his body and his hand exactly where they needed to be. Nothing more you can say about that.
Good power on it from Monsalvo, but unable to get it away from the keeper, so the score remains 3-1. 2 goals from each side, but one of them was an own goal from Brady Musser. Alex Green corrals this one, tries his luck, didn't have a shooting lane. Bignell staying with it somehow, and then tripped over the ball slightly. It'll fall backwards for Kelliam Green. Gives and gets back from Hayes. Sent over the top by Monsalvo. Alex Green looking to chase it down. Cleared away. Leeline with time. He's going to let this one roll out. It was a little bit awkward with that ball bouncing. I can see why he wanted to make that decision there, Dakota.
Absolutely. I mean, when you can get the advantage of being able to throw it
Chance
in,
here.
place it.
Over the top. Santos trying to get there. Cleared away by Musser, as you were saying.
I mean, when you can get the opportunity to use your hands and for one of the few times in this game and place it more exactly where you want to, I would take the opportunity every time. I know during my career I did it every time.
The only disadvantage to that, it broke up the Saints' momentum a bit. A late tackle from Alex Green, and probably fortunate it wasn't too far adjacent to the goal. With just got his foot in a bit late there upon Gustavo Lira. Lira, the Brazilian.
Crowd definitely not too happy about that call, Calvin. Lots of murmuring going around.
It was the right call, though. Lira, back post. Headed again by the Bulldogs, right to Rocha. What a save by Vaca, and another save from Jackson Vaca. An incredible pair of stops coming from the junior from Canton, Michigan, who's been great all night. How'd he keep that ball out?
I think Vaca just really learned from all of the confusion earlier from that second goal during the game, and he kept his head strong, he kept it forward, and he thought about exactly, he tried to anticipate it a bit more.
In the right position at the right time. Made a couple of nice stops. We'll have a look here in a moment once play settles down. Cherko, high pass, making things difficult for Musser there. Heavy touch by Monsalvo. He'll have to slide in. Falls back into the lap of Zandillo for the Saints. Nifty little flick from Rocha. Can he break free? Vaca sliding in again. Jackson Vaca standing strong and standing on his head back there to keep the Bulldogs in this one down 2.
Vaca's really given a name for himself today. Just at being everywhere at once, it seems like.
Long ball sent up the midfield. Alex Green got a touch. Now here's Fritz, shielding it. Back heel for Hofius to open things up. Beautiful ball from Andre Hofius and missed there by Kelliam Green. Bignell trying to keep the play alive. Sends one in, and that's just really diving practice for Ricardo Moreno. Another look here at the fantastic work here from Jackson Vaca. We see the first save from in tight, made himself big, and again sliding in.
And with so much airtime in such a little amount of time, like I'm sure it can't be easy to guess where all of that ball is going.
It'll be a Sienna Heights throw-in coming here. It's always amazing as a goalkeeper, Vaca just diving at people, moving those sharp studs. And the ball right in tight on him. No regard for his personal safety, only thinking about his team and his teammates, making a pair of sensational stops. Kelliam Green would have had space opening up if he could corral that one. A difficult ball as it bounced right in front of him. Moreno will settle this down. 29 minutes left. Only goal of this second half so far came from Brady Musser. It was an own goal as he tried to clear it but sent it into his own net. And the first half we saw Marcelo Rocha and Tiago Moraes get on the board for Sienna Heights, and Juan Tapia with a penalty kick to give the Bulldogs their only tally so far in the contest. Great footwork sent in, but it was out of play.
Great pressure from the Bulldogs just over in that corner again. Again, the Bulldogs' biggest concerns is protecting that goal. So they always try to get goal side of the ball in front of the striker and just do what they can, put their body in front of it.
Gary Davison and Luke Gritza in for the Bulldogs as we look at the second save that Vaca made. Look at that touch from Rocha. Gave it, got it back, stayed with it. But Vaca closed down the angle well. Break it down for us.
I mean, you can see all the footwork from the Saints, but that's obviously not a match for our keeper, Vaca. Getting it passed all around the defense and just trying their best, taking off every opportunity that they can for a strike. Just not getting past, though.
How about that nifty little touch from Marcelo Rocha in the attack there? As the goalkeeper had to be ever so careful. Moreno in tight there. Bignell, nice move to get by one. He breaks into the box, cuts one back, nobody home. Falls to Monsalvo, long strike from distance and looked promising for a moment.
It's just going back to the beginning of the game, Calvin. There's so many opportunities for the Bulldogs to score, and they try their best to take advantage of it, but they just can't finish it out.
Sienna Heights limiting their opportunities. That was a really good ball by Bignell. There was just no one to get on the end of it there.
Absolutely.
In the penalty area.
The idea was there very clearly.
And that's what we've seen, some real purpose in the play of the Bulldogs, not something we saw a whole lot of last year. This is a really new and improved team, and they're facing a talented Sienna Heights squadron and hanging in there with them despite being down 2. Less than 27 to go in the second frame. 3-1 the score. Sienna Heights visiting in this crosstown rivalry matchup. A game that me and you both had circled on our calendar as the home opener. Bulldogs came into this match looking for revenge, falling 1-0 a season ago at Sienna's place as the Saints look to extend their lead but can't connect as that rolls by Moraes, who has a goal in this match. Kelliam Green. He's taken down. Foul called. Again, it's Santos delivering a sloppy challenge.
I think Green really saw that gap in between the two Saints players, and he thought he could go for it, but I guess it didn't end up too bad for him in the end.
Gritza. Here's Hofia, somewhat isolated on this right side. Or rather, that's Keats. Knocked over is Gritza, but falls for Alex Green. It's off the left post. Inches. Green frustrated. That was an opportunity there, of premium quality.
Really surprised that that knockdown by the Saints wasn't called. I was really expecting maybe an elbow check or something to be called for him.
Corner kick sent in. Green able to cut it back. Gritza in. Musser headed it. Now falls to Leline. Long strike right into the chest of Moreno. If he had sent that anywhere else, probably would have been in.
You could see the power behind that strike right there, Calvin.
I think the reason we didn't see the foul on that previous play too is they were playing advantage since Green had the chance. Since he got the shot off, they typically won't go back, and call that foul if they were given the proper attacking opportunity. And man, it doesn't get much closer to that than that.
I know, and very true about the call, but even still, it just seemed like that elbow you could see seemed very heavy on it. That's why I was just shocked by it.
Thought we could have seen a card there?
Absolutely.
It's definitely been a physical contest. You expect nothing less from the two noisy neighbors from across Adrian as the Saints look to build an attack. It was in the penalty area, sent out Moraes. Good touch. Opens up space. We've seen him try from distance, but Bulldogs collapse upon him. Now a long ball in. Rocha looking for it. Falls for Zandio. And Vaca reaching out. Strong right palm.
He's just everywhere, Calvin. I cannot stress this enough. Just great time being taken by the Saints here. Always looking for an advantage to take. Great cross into the middle.
Corner sent in. A header. It's off the post. Ball still loose. And now headed away by Leline. While we were watching that replay, a Saints player couldn't identify who sent it off the right post. Fritz unable to find it, as that's a key intervention from Salmim. Keentz chasing back for it. My apologies. I've been calling Ryan Keentz Andre Hofius the whole game. Keentz has been really good. Just realized my mistake, so apologies for that.
Definitely see on this clear Vaca just made. Didn't get the contact behind it. Had got a little bit too much backspin on it, which caused the ball not to go as far down the field as he wanted.
23 minutes left in this one. Sub checked in for the Saints. It's Guilherme Ramos. Replacing Thiago Moraes. Gets a high five from his coach, Drew Crawford, as we've got an injured Bulldog down on the field. We'll step aside momentarily as he's attended to. Welcome back to Docking Stadium. Calvin Keys, Dakota Schneider with you. Gavin Bignell attended to by the trainers. He went down on the far side of the pitch. He's replaced by Dante Grasso. Gets into the match for the first time tonight as Bignell back up on his feet, but conversing with his manager, Charlie Miles. 23:08 up on the board. Bulldogs down 3-1. It's going to take something special for them to try and get a draw or maybe even a win out of this one.
Here's Vaca with the far send as always.
He's got quite the leg on him. Kelliam Green on for Alex Green, looking over for Fritz. Ball finds its way to Ramos, just subbed into the match. Gotta say, I love these Sienna Heights kits. They're really nice. Davison, astute play to intercept there as one of his teammates' passes was nearly going to be disastrous. Vaca just able to clear it in time. Alex Green hunting the ball down. Fritz and assistance. I think we're going to see more urgency and more of a press and numbers getting forward for the Bulldogs here, down 2 with about 20 minutes to go. You think we'll see more desperation from them?
Well, You might, Calvin, because even earlier, once they were down 2 in the first half, you could definitely tell they were playing a bit more conservative with the ball, taking their time more. And their sense of urgency was more focused on keeping the ball in possession.
Gary Davison will take this throw for the Bulldogs, or rather hand it off to Grasso. Alex Green looking to redeem himself after he hit the post a couple of minutes ago. Had a great chance. Was inches away from making this a one-goal game again. And cleared away deep into the bleachers by Ribeiro. Heads up to the fans there. That was a heat-seeking missile.
Hope they were paying attention, Calvin.
Davison will head up the touchline to put the ball back in play via the throw-in. 21-20 to go. Thrown into the box.
It's good through the field goal.
Kelliam Green tried his luck. Sent it between the uprights, but not between the posts that he was aiming for. Moreno to rocket this one away. Instead, he'll go the gentler route.
I think
Ribeiro.
that's been a very common theme tonight, Calvin. Vaca with his very far sends, and Moreno just keeping it short and personal.
Intimate, if you will. Rocha. Now Santos looking to turn it upfield. Pressured by Gritza. Instead, he'll look backwards, finding Salmim. I will say, this backline duo of Victor Salmim alongside Guilherme Ribeiro has been rock solid for Sienna Heights tonight. Especially Ribeiro. We've seen him make a lot of well-timed interventions to break up Bulldog attacks.
Absolutely, and just this, the Saints' defense in general, they always keep track of where that ball is, and it seems like they're almost coordinating with their keeper at the same time.
2 subs on for the Saints with 20 minutes to go. We see Mateus Santos heading off the pitch. He's been a key contributor in the midfield, kind of shifting around, doing whatever's needed for his side as Gritza will send this one backwards. Clocked away by Vaca. Monsalvo. Kelliam Green. Played on ahead that time by Leeline. Looking on the backside for Grasso. Didn't get through.
Very heavy push here by the Bulldogs.
They need offense here with less than 20 to go. Down by 2 against their fierce rivals from Sienna Heights University. Long ball sent in, catching practice from Moreno. And he'll go down to the ground and try to milk the clock as much as possible, as you often see. He'll use his hands instead of his feet here.
Absolutely. Moreno just keeping that intimacy, as you put it, with his players, just making sure, that way it's not getting intervention by any of the Bulldogs.
Sent on ahead. Good ball, but offside flag is up as Guilherme Ramos was in ahead of the Bulldogs' second to last defender. Oh, they're going to bring it back for a foul and a set piece. I didn't see anything there. Must have missed it.
I think we both missed it, Calvin, because I have no idea what's going on now either.
Saints free kick must have been a foul before that offside decision was made. Zandio didn't get a piece of it, lobbying for a corner, but instead it'll be a goal kick.
You can see there Musser keeping very close pressure on number 5, Lucas Carvalho, just making sure that that pressure is kept, because he saw that ball going right for Carvalho, so he stayed right on his back, making sure he couldn't get up for that header.
Chris Chiz, Juan Tapia. If that doesn't say offense, I don't know what does. They're coming back into the game. Tapia has the only goal. We've seen his capacity to finish. A quartet of players going up for that ball. The 50-50. Bulldog down. It'll be their free kick.
Looked like very close to being a head-on-head contact for the Saints and Bulldogs there. I think they just barely threaded the needle to a serious head injury.
Ryan Keents drawing that foul. I think he's going to be able to move this up the pitch. Musser to take it. Again. Yeah, Musser has had a great showing tonight. He even got on the score sheet, just not in the way that he wanted to. been his lone error virtually.
Well, and even so, Calvin, he had the perfect idea for it. Just from his line of sight, he couldn't see exactly where that projectile was going.
Chiz using his wheels to get there. Keeps it inside that yellow touch line. Bulldogs draw the throw in here with 17 to go.
Very close call by the refs to make there. That could have been anyone's ball.
Keats, patient approach to this throw. Looks for Chiz up ahead. Lays off for Keats once more. Whips one in. Moreno didn't bobble it for a minute.
The precision there on that strike was, right on target. It's sadly just right on target for the keeper, Moreno.
Good passing play by the Saints here. This is Musoles trying to slide through. Gritza intervenes, and they're going to call a foul on him. Thought it was going to be on Musoles because he was the one sliding in, studs up.
It didn't seem like a very dirty tackle. It seemed
It
like
will
it was
be
just
against
going
Musoles.
straight for it.
It will be against Musoles. My apologies. Or rather a throw-in?
Very odd predicament.
I don't know why this is a throw-in. I thought it'd be a free kick. Maybe they're saying the ball went out before the play. Tapia into the middle for Chiz. Misplayed it. They say it's Sienna ball.
Saints really keeping up with that consistency of always crowding around that lone Bulldog. Chiz would have been able to have a perfect goal there if it weren't for that teamwork.
Crombie able to work it out for Vernier. Moreno. Ribeiro. Rocha. Rocha, he's so talented. He looks so comfortable whenever he has the ball at his feet. Alex Green had it knocked away. Nicked away by Zandio. Into the middle for Rocha. Got some room to work with here. Gritza will get there. Won the ball. Got some collateral damage as well. Here's Chiz. Tried to work it up the line. Got a stiff arm there from Leem. And Rocha still down. That was an ugly collision.
It was a very ugly collision, but at the same time, you could see that it was a clean swipe. There was no foul
You saw Gritza's intention there, yeah.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
We'll step aside while Rocha's attended to. Hope he's all right. Marcelo Rocha back up on his feet, heads off to the bench, and he's replaced by Sal Marchanda. Boy, looking at this roster going into this game with the amount of international players that the Saints have, we knew we were going to have our work cut out for us just pronouncing a lot of these names, and it's been a good way to, I don't know, break the pronunciation and heading into a new men's soccer season.
It's like having a culture lesson all over again. Taking another foreign language here at Adrian College.
Yeah, apologies to all the parents watching at home, perhaps abroad, if I'm butchering names, but doing the best we can up here. In the booth at Docking Stadium, Calvin Keys, Dakota Schneider, Cam Overmeyer working behind the scenes to make this one possible on ACTV. Sienna Heights on top right now, 3-1 with under 14 to go. Flicked on, free header, Vaca fumbled it, still it's loose, and they'll send it into the net. Gaisca Zandio, it looks like, was the one to cash in. After Vaca's been so good all day, we see a bit of a miscue from the keeper.
Well, and just with a bit of a jumble, there were so many players from both sides compacted right into that one area where Vaca was trying to land his jump, and that caused him to lose control of it. Just a big scramble. It's like it's how I like my eggs.
You may like your eggs scrambled, but I know that the Bulldog manager, Charlie Miles, doesn't like his defenders scrambled around like that.
Absolutely not.
And that's what led to the current score line, 4-1. Alex Green, good persistence and hustle from the youngster. Really like what we've seen from him. Again, our scoring summary. What were you going to say?
A great solo push by Green there. He just had it full control of it. If only there was another striker up there that he might have been able to pass to, I think that could have been a net.
Grasso turns it over. They find Vernier in the middle. Again, your scoring summary for Sienna Heights: Marcelo Rocha, Tiago Moraes, Brady Musser with the own goal from the Bulldogs, and then Gaisca Zandillo, their 4 goals. Juan Tapia on the board for the black and gold, 4-1. Alex Green pickpockets it from Zandillo, who just scored a few moments ago. Fritz. Tapia takes on his man, cutting in, and good defense by Ribeiro to shepherd it out for a corner.
Great footwork there by Tapia. I mean, he had a level head, and he just tried to concentrate exactly where he was placing his feet.
We've got, it looks to be Alex Green down on the pitch now. So the clock will be stopped with 12:16 to go. We head back to another commercial break while Green is helped.
There's so many firsts, lasts, and in-betweens. We're certainly not the last class to get a smile and a kiss from Bruiser walking across campus. We are never going to be the last class to begin our college careers by serving our local community and pursuing our passions. Above all else, come hell or high water, we will never be the last class to come to Adrian College and find a motivated and supportive community of students, faculty, and staff, and leave with the skills and tools needed to be inspiring industry leaders and professionals with high hopes and dreams for our bright futures ahead. The people and the experiences that we are most grateful for are
Alex Green heads off the pitch. What could be the end of a really good night for him, coming off the bench, and has played the entirety of this second half to this point. He's walking around, seems to be doing okay. That's good news. Bulldog corner here. Fritz, good service. Ball still loose. Adrian can't find the loose change. Ryan Keats knocks it back for Davison. Keats once more, wearing the number 6 shirt that was worn by Hophius last season. Hayes, Gritza. Back out for Keats. Whips it into the box, no trouble for Ricardo Moreno. Don't let the Sienna Heights football coach see that throw. My goodness, might recruit him for quarterback. He got that one about 50 yards down the pitch. Here's a chance for Chiz, and that one well wide to the left.
I think what's important to note about this time of the game, Calvin, is it seems like Adrian is trying to slow it down once again, just try to keep level heads and really just work together more. I know one on their itinerary, as you could put it, for game plans, they're really trying to focus on like 1 to 2 touch plays and really getting into those like 3 to 4 man back and forths. Might not be their most strongest point, but they're definitely trying to work on it, as you can see.
Springing ahead, and offside is the decision against Guilherme Ramos. It's the second time he's been offside in this second half. And definitely echo what you said, Dakota, where even though this one might be a little bit out of reach with 10 minutes to go, you don't lose heart and you build good habits moving forward into the season. This result stands. Bulldogs will be 0-3-1 on the year, still looking for their first win, but a lot of positives to take from this one. What have you seen?
Well, I've seen a lot of back and forth for both teams, really. Sienna Heights really tries to take it as more of a slower approach. Bulldogs attempt that at times, but really can't keep it consistent as much as the Saints. But great aggression on both sides, and it's been a very heartfelt game. Lots of heavy competition, and it's been a great crowd, great experience.
Have had a good turnout here at Docking Stadium, haven't we?
Absolutely. It's been a great opening day for this team, and Looks like an injury on the play.
Yeah, Fritz got his boot up high. He's going to get a yellow card for his miscue. And Victor Salmim down on the ground. Looks like he's getting stretched up. I think this is nothing more than a cramp. This is the stage late on in a game where muscles do begin to tighten up, especially when you go to ground or have a collision.
Well, in such a heavy competition, these players have been working their butts off for the whole entire time, over almost 100 minutes now.
Yeah, certainly 9:37 left to go in this one, and Salmim's back up on his feet. Seems like players have been dropping like flies out there in these past couple of minutes because of some of the factors that we mentioned.
Just the fatigue getting to them for sure. Just with such a brawl going on there, you can expect nothing less.
Well, we were going to get fresh legs out there in a minute. 5 substitutes checked in for the Saints and 2 for the Bulldogs, including Gavin Bignell, who left earlier, so that's a positive sign. Good work by Ramos. He continued to play, but I think that one went outside the touchline. But
bit of a late call by the ref. Had a couple of those tonight, but
as long as he makes the call, that's what's important.
Absolutely.
Leeline and Keats head off, who have really put in a good shift for Adrian today. What have you seen from those two?
Well, it's just the communication in general has just been great between the two of them. Always trying to figure out what combination of their work goes best together.
Fritz tries to put it in. He was caught late by Uribes, and I think he's going to, Uribes will be shown a yellow, as I suspected.
Uribes just got his body right in front of it and was able to just block that ball, but at the same time, at what cost?
Yeah, it looked like Fritz trying to put the cross in, caught Uribes late. Fritz in some pain. Hope he's all right as we head to the commercial break. Or perhaps we'll stay here as Fritz is back up on the touchline. The positive of an encounter like that happening near the sideline is Fritz is able to just head off and substitute will head on. Certainly hope Craig Fritz is all right because he's been a real catalyst for the Bulldog offense today.
He's been at the front end of the Bulldogs for the entire match, and it would be a shame for him to be taken out at such a low point, especially when they're getting the ball towards the Saint side of the field.
Gritza here standing over it. Puts it in. Sends it right to a Saints defender. Gritza will follow it up. And he is elbowed to the ground.
Body is not going to be called. I mean, it was a clean swoop for the ball, but a bit heavy on the approach, in my opinion.
That's shocking to me. But referee has a better vantage point than we do up here in the booth, so we'll trust his judgment. Gritza a bit upset by it, as heading in now is Edwin Galindo for the Saints. And he'll replace Lorenzo Leem. He'll be thanked by his teammates for his services this evening. 7:37 to go. This ball rolls all the way through. Dangerously for Ramos. Vaca will scoop it up.
Vaca definitely not wanting to let any more opportunities past him.
Yep, signaling to his teammates to get up the pitch. Picks out Tapia. Sends over his head. Emmert. Wide. Davison misplayed.
Not really sure where that intention was going to. It looked like a forward send, but not even sure to which Bulldog he would have been sending it to.
Looking to center it, I think, and just, came off the wrong part of his foot, not as he intended. Settled down by Hayes here. Chiz the turn. Passes behind Bignell. He'll hustle to track it down. He can't. Out for a Saints throw. What have you liked about Sienna Heights' game this evening?
Well, I think, obviously, as I've mentioned so many times, just the coordination that they have together. It seems like they have just some sort of connection in their minds, just knowing exactly where each one of them is, how to approach each Bulldog coming up, and even when trying to solo out the Bulldogs on their own and get the ball. Just the teamwork is incredible by the Saints.
We didn't know too much about the Sienna Heights lineup going into this match, but when you look at the roster and you see that many names from Brazil, you figure it's going to be a team that has a lot of talent with the reputation that country has for producing top-tier soccer talent, and they really have not disappointed.
Not at all, Calvin.
Bulldogs have made things difficult for them, but at the end of the day, the Saints have been the better side. Still have 5:53 left to play. Musser has one on his tail. He'll unload to Davison. Quick tap in for Tapia. Uribes, who's on a yellow card, will beat his counterpart Eldred to the ball. Zachary Eldred out there for Adrian. Just came into the match. Hayes. Good effort to win that one back as he was initially beaten one-on-one.
You can see the persistence from up here, Calvin.
Tapia. Beaten to it by Ribeiro, who will touch it deftly upfield. Centered on. Opening up Galindo. Here's Vernier.
I think a big thing to note, Calvin, is you can always see the Saints threading the needle in between the gaps between the Bulldogs. So it just begs the question, maybe the Bulldogs aren't on their toes enough. Maybe they're just not thinking in the future enough.
It's definitely difficult to anticipate what your opponent's going to do, and Sienna Heights has been a tricky side, mixing their attack, and they've got a versatile team. It's not just one guy that you have to keep your eye on. They really have a slew of options to use in the attacking portion of the game. Ramos sent it out. Possession to Adrian. Davison kicked in the face as he dropped his head a bit to get to that header, but might have got it in the eye. And immediately going over to try and console him is Guillermo Ramos. Davison's probably going to need to come out here, but good sportsmanship by Ramos. No intention there, and immediately went to go check on his opponent, which is sportsmanship that you love to see.
It's honestly rare sometimes to see sportsmanship on that kind of level, and you can see the sincerity even on his face, and you can tell that he feels terrible for it.
He's still going to be shown a yellow card, which is the right decision, as got the boot right up by the face.
Lots of emotions flowing through the crowd right now. A lot of the Adrian fans very heavily showing their opinions on what's just occurred.
It's been a frustrating night because the effort's been there, but not the end product, right? So just end up on the wrong side of the score sheet. And the Saints manager, Drew Crawford, is talking to the official, saying that he thought Davison did bring his head pretty low there on the play.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah, the kick on that. It's not like he extended his leg that much to bring it up above someone's head.
It wasn't like it got to shoulder height. It was probably at about the midriff.
It's just the combination of the actions of both players, but no matter what, in a situation like this, when a player is injured like that, I think a card is well justified, no matter what team it's for.
Gritza from 50 yards away from the goal line here, as the clock will resume here in a moment upon the official signal. It's been an entertaining match. We've had everything. We've had big goals, big saves, physicality, everything you could ask for, really.
It's been a blended smoothie of just pure enjoyment, Calvin.
Great way of putting it. I could go for a smoothie right now. It'll be an Adrian throw coming up. Sticking with the metaphor, it's been a tricky Saints offense that, despite the Bulldogs' best efforts, their defense has been put in a blunder here this evening.
Absolutely, Calvin. I would like to note Ramos, number 14, his hustle there was just exquisite, running from half the pitch all the way down to almost the back left corner of the Adrian side.
I think a big testament to the entertainment value of this game has been the pace alone, right? Both teams hustling, giving it all they have, and at sometimes it's been a bit disorganized because of that high pace, but certainly makes for some quality entertainment, and you expect nothing less between these two sides. Ramos will have a go, and Vaca gets hands to it. That had some mustard behind it, a little bit of ketchup as well.
You could see, as he's going for that ball, you could see his hands travel with the ball exactly where he saw it going. That's just perfect. Let's look at it right now.
Ramos off the half volley with the ball bouncing, struck it with his laces, struck it sweetly. Vaca got there like he has time and time again. Corner comes in here. It'll roll out again for a goal kick. As we approach the 2-minute warning here. Well, as we look ahead on the Bulldogs' schedule, they're going to take on Cornerstone. That game coming up in just 3 days. So that'll be a Saturday matchup on the road at 6 p.m. at Cornerstone University.
Very busy week coming up for these Bulldogs, Calvin. They have Cornerstone in 3 days, and then 3 days after that, another away match, and then 2 days after that, it's just back to back to back.
This one will take a favorable roll out wide for Bader. Ribeiro, who's played the entirety of the match, will stay with it. Eldred got there. Tapia swings it for Anthony Reiter. Emmert is impeded there. And Ed Julesen Godero picks up the foul.
Clearly unhappy about that call, Cal. He was very expressive about what he thought.
He was draped over him, though. I don't know what his debate is there.
Sometimes when you're out there in the heat of the moment, you remember things differently than they happened.
Final minute of play here. Just like in all 4 of the games this season, the effort's been there, but Bulldogs haven't been the more decisive of the two squads. A couple of mistakes here and there. The own goal, sloppy play by Vaca to lead to one of the goals, but can't really fault him because he's also prevented a lot of goals with the saves he's made. Saints were the better side on paper. They've come through here this evening, but Bulldogs still with a lot to be proud of despite losing by 3. That was a great opportunity. Sent it wide. I was saying they were down by 3. It was nearly 4 there. As having a go was Caden Demers. Clock ticks down, and this one will end with the visitors going back-to-back. Won 1-0 last year. They'll win 4-1 this year. Emmert, one final chance, but it's cleared away, and that'll do it. 90 minutes in the books, and the Saints come marching in, and they come away with the victory.
Calvin, I think the most important thing to note from this match is no matter what team came on top and who came on bottom, there was so much heart and perseverance on both sides of the pitch today, and it's beautiful to see that. So much sportsmanship, just raw, just I can't even think of a word for it.
Another great effort from the Bulldogs, but they're still in search of their first win as they go down 4-1. Final thoughts on this one, Dakota, as again we'll look at the scoring summary. Marcelo Rocha, Tiago Moraes, Gaiska Zandio, and Brady Musser with the own goal were the 4 tallies for the Saints. For Adrian, it was just Juan Tapia who had the penalty kick executed to perfection in that first half. It ends 4-1. What's one thing you would like to see the Bulldogs improve on, and what's one thing that you were pleased with in this game?
Well, absolutely. I'm very pleased with the level of teamwork that they've had when it comes to defending, especially Vaca in the box. And all of his defenders have just been coordinated as best they can, and they really just try to come together. But at the same time, I would like to see the Bulldogs slow it down a bit. They've attempted it multiple times in today's matchup, but they never stuck with it. And you could see that when they did, they were able to move it forward, move it back, and just gain the advantage. So if they can consistently get that down to a T, I think they could start putting it in net more often.
Moments here and there, but it takes an entire match of cohesive play to get the win. Bulldogs fall 4-1 to the Sienna Heights Saints, and that'll do it here. For Dakota Schneider and our entire crew, I'm Calvin Keys saying so long and have a great night.
continue to take pride and learn from Asa Mahan's leadership today.